Let me know in the comments what you're prioritizing. These are my priority history reads for Q2. Let's get into it. First up is The First World War by John Keegan. Keegan is widely known as one of the most authoritative voices on military history. I have his book on the Second World War, which I'm looking to dig into later this year. Obviously want to get through this puppy first. While this may not look as daunting as some of the other thick military books that I've shown here on this page, this is dense and chock full of information, and one I am super excited to get into in Q2. The White Ship by Charles Spencer covers the sinking of the White Ship in 1120, which threw the future of the Anglo-Norman throne into absolute chaos. For as much Viking history as I talk on this channel, I am stunned at myself that I have not talked about the saga of the Icelanders. Look at that puppy. This is a monstrous book, and I know is a must read for Viking history fanatics such as myself. So this one is probably getting added to the list in May. Don't know how long it'll take me to get through it, but yeah, can't wait to read this one. Shogun by James Clawell. I mean, the fact that I haven't read this yet is a crime, and I am angry at myself for creating a page talking about books and not having this one already on my read list. So this is one that I will be getting to in short order. And this boy's 1,000 pages long. We'll see what kind of damage we can do to it over the next couple months, but yeah. This is one I'm looking to put down. You're going to start to notice this theme here. Catastrophe, 1914, Europe Goes to War by Max Hastings. If you follow my page, you'll know that I just recently picked up Inferno, Max Hastings' book on the Second World War. Hastings, much like John Keegan, is an authoritative voice in military history, so one that I am looking to dig into. So much information in these books, so much incredible detail, and yeah, Catastrophe, 1914. Surprise, more Viking history, Embers of the Hands, Hidden Histories of the Viking Age by Eleanor Barraclough. This book is a newly released Viking history book that focuses on the archaeological side of Viking history from really recently unearthed artifacts such as game boards and combs and everyday items that Vikings use that tell a deeper and more incredible story of the type of people and society and culture that they were that you aren't going to find in a lot of Viking history literature. A lot of Viking history talks about the battles and the warriors. Looking at something like Embers of the Hands that covers a more archaeological and truly historic story of the Vikings as a people is something that I was so excited to see was being released and so excited to get my hands on. Nero, Matricide, Music, and Murder in Imperial Rome by Anthony Everett and Roddy Ashworth. I was put onto this book after listening to a podcast about Nero, and it was one that just absolutely blew me away. It was a long form style podcast, so it was full of a ton of detail, and they actually referenced this book quite a few times in the show. I knew after listening to that podcast that I had to get my hands on it. I'm digging a lot more into Roman history this year than I have in previous years, so starting with Nero for my Roman history deep dive, and yeah, super excited to get into it. So there you have it. These are my priority Q2 history reads. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them.